Okay. R. Life.
Holy
Hey,
fuck.
it's been a while.
I feel like a bag of bricks. What up?
It has been a minute, since just a life.
It, with geopolitics, it feels like it's been 3 months.
Has it been,
Hasn't it
like,
been?
it hasn't been 3 months. I think it's been at
No,
least a month, maybe.
yeah,
But
I just mean that like geopolitics has been so intense in the period where we were absent that it feels like it's been 3 months.
I
No, I
know.
just was surprised that it wasn't actually 3 months, to be honest. That's the sad part. I was like, wait, haven't we been gone for that long?
Right, because it
No, it
feels that
just was.
long.
It was just a day where it felt like a month because there was nuclear saber rattling going on, and the entire world was collectively clenching its asshole.
Yeah, there was that.
True.
The
We're still kind of clenching our assholes, to be honest, because of course we can't trust Hegseth to get anything done. He's coming home with his tail between his legs after attempting a half-assed alleged peace treaty deal, whatever the fuck.
And the Ayatollah telling them to get fucked.
they
I mean,
put
I kind of knew that was going to happen
the
because
Secretary of
Yes.
War in charge of the peace treaty
right, right,
negotiations. Oh,
right.
Especially
no.
a fucking warhawk like Hegseth. The dude has like the IQ of a toddler who's had 5 concussions.
Yeah, he's got like a
Mm-hmm.
-5 in his like diplomacy stat. Bad.
Literally.
So y'all hear about the good news though?
The warehouse fires? That's good news
All
to
six of
me.
them.
All six so
Yeah,
far?
there's fires all over.
Yeah. It started with the California, Ontario, not Canada, Ontario, because they were saying Ontario CA, and that
Yeah.
kind of fucking confused people as California and Canada.
Oh
But it was
yeah,
in
yeah.
California, Ontario, because apparently America names cities after Canadian cities and provinces. Don't fucking ask me.
There's also a
Um,
Vancouver, Washington. So yeah,
that
I
drives
don't
me
get it
crazy.
either. Yeah,
That
stupid.
makes me want to like I don't know, fucking scream so hard I turn into a fifth dimensional being and phase out of reality.
I
Anyways,
know it's stupid. There's
um,
also like stupid like Philadelphia, Mississippi, and like I never understood how the fuck we name things
why
over
would
here.
you do
I don't
that?
get it.
Why
Right, like
would
why would you do that?
no sane person? Philly is Philly. Leave them the fuck alone.
Mm.
Or don't actually. It's probably better. Come to Philly. Actually, get fucked and find out.
You could try us if you want. We're kind of
But yeah,
crazy though.
it started with one warehouse worker who didn't work directly for the warehouse. He was actually a contractor for $18 an hour, and he
Mm.
had had enough of not getting paid enough to live, so he lit the fucking toilet paper place on fire. Which they didn't have a proper fire suppression system, which cost them $10 million worth of damages. Which now, because it was employee arson, insurance doesn't cover that, and they have to eat the costs.
In- Insurance doesn't cover employee arson?
No,
That's awesome.
it's
That is the best news I've heard all
Wait,
day.
I
capitalism
didn't know that. That's
or
amazing.
capitalism is an Ouroboros, and these companies hate each other just as much as they hate us, and they'll fuck each other over at any given instance. So you can literally use the system to devour the fucking snake by its tail.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
It
like
is. I
gospel
love
to
this.
me now. Like, yes, and the Lord said, we do not cover employee arson. Get fucked.
And the Lord said, fuck around and thou shalt find out by Molotovs. Speaking
For
of which,
real.
also, the day after that fire happened, 5 more warehouses were burnt. Some were like Amazon warehouses, one was like a mall. And here's the real fun one. Somebody lit and threw a Molotov cocktail at Sam Altman's house.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. These people seem to have forgot that peaceful protest was the alternative to burning their fucking houses down.
Yeah. I was at
Now they know.
the most recent no so was Scott actually. We were both there.
Yeah.
Drew was too. We had a small group of us getting together for that. And I'm not gonna lie, like, was it the biggest turnout so far? Yes, it was. But in terms of our personal energy levels and what it seemed like the energy levels of the crowd that was there, it really was like a tired kind of feeling. Like everyone was pissed off, like
Yeah.
pissed off but tired. You know, like that feeling of like I'm so fucking mad and I'm so tired of dealing with this. Like just end it already. Like just can we just be done with this, you know, and kind of like move on to the next thing, the next better thing. It was kind of like that feeling because like there wasn't like there was chanting and stuff, but like it would start up and then it would kind of die down, and it just didn't seem like there was as much like fire in the people as there was last time, and yet there was more of a turnout. So
Yes.
it it's definitely like, especially like for me when I was there, I was like, oh, here we are again. Like we're out here again. And the
Yeah.
other thing with the No Kings protests and any other organized protest in a lot of these cities is that they're permitted and like they have
True.
police escort and like it's not a real protest. Like it is,
It's
I
giving
guess, but it's not. It's a
giving
parade.
Captain the slave master to do a parade against the plantation. That's what it's giving.
Right. Yeah, like this is not the Mummers Parade, you know what I mean? Like and it's cool to have the drum lines that like there's so much happening at these No Kings thing, and it really does show the best of like every city's culture and, you know, just like things like that. But sometimes I'm like, are we all just getting together to hang out? Like is this like a block party? Like is this what this is? Um and I try not to have that view. Like I know why people are there, and you know, no one really wants to be walking down the parkway, you know, fucking reason you don't have to. But it's definitely this feeling of like, oh my god, we're still here again. But with these fires, with I don't know, just other goings on. I don't know. I think the wake up and shake up is really
Yeah. The biggest what's the word I'm looking for? The biggest way to see the writing on the wall is to just go to threads, right?
mm,
Over 95% of comments and posts
yeah.
are pro burning everything down right now. Because
We've been
like
saying it for a
where have the
while.
protests gotten us, right? Like don't get me wrong, I love that we show up. I love that we've done stuff
Yeah,
at a point when they're willing to ignore it and keep bombing children. Did our protests save Gaza? No, they didn't. They're
right,
still fucking bombing Gaza and now Lebanon, right?
right,
It will not stop. It has to fight violence with violence. It's something that people don't like hearing, but
yeah,
an elephant doesn't deal with a lion trying to kill its child by talking to the fucking lion.
right.
We've forgotten that for a long time as a society, that we were making concessions with these people, that we wanted to live in a world peacefully because we're not monsters. We don't want to see buildings burning. We don't want to see destruction. But you give people no other option, and those who make peaceful protest or peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable.
It's true. And we're seeing the beginnings of it now. No, I mean, I don't want this to ever escalate to a point where, you know, where we've got militia in the street or shit. Like, I don't want that to
No one wants
goes,
to.
But
Yeah,
honestly.
realistically, that's what
right.
happened with ICE too. That was a
Like,
militia in the street.
right, and or I mean, like, you know, us, the people forming our own militia, and now
People,
we're
yeah.
gonna go to actual fucking war in the streets kind of thing. Um,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, like, I hope
I
it
sort of.
doesn't come to that kind of full scale battle, essentially, civil, like a true civil war. I hope it doesn't come to that. But and I don't think it will. I don't know. I don't think it will because a lot of the important things that are happening through quiet channels, kind of thing.
Well, I'd also like to use Rome as an example. I think
Yeah.
personally, you'll get an et tu Brutus situation before
Hmm.
you're gonna get the entirety of the population fighting the entirety of the army. That seems very
Yeah,
unrealistic.
yeah, they'll eat
Et
each
tu
other
Brutus,
first.
et tu Brutus will happen at a certain point. That's
Yeah,
an inevitability.
it's already kind of happening. You know, like, well, yeah, he got rid of like Gnome and what is it? Bondi,
And now
Levitson,
the right wing
Pontiac.
is eating itself, and like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are like going out against Trump, and now he's like calling them fucking losers, and it's like watching all the people that you hate the most fight each other. Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty nice to see, but there is still like this overarching feeling of like we could have prevented all of this. Like all of this could have been prevented. It could have not happened. But then at the same time, right? I think about this. Suppose Kamala would have won, right? The alternate timeline, Kamala would have won. And
we'd
I think
actually be exactly where we were at the start.
yeah, like we wouldn't have it would just maintain the status quo of everything is still fucked. It's just that I don't know. So maybe in a way, this idea of chaos, the great disruption, it sucks to be caught in it. It sucks to be living through it. It sucks to experience it.
Yeah,
And it's different levels of suck for each person. Like everyone is not experiencing this in the same way. Like someone who, like me, I'm employed. I have a job. It's fairly stable. But there are people who are not employed right now, and they've been looking for work for like going on 2, 3 fucking years now,
yep.
and they're living they're surviving at a different level, and so, but at the same time, it's kind of like what I said in the beginning of all this is like I'm committed to ride this out because I know that there's something different. There has to be something better, something at least markedly better than what we are doing now.
Yes. And there has to be, right? Because human history, we are a communal species. The first signs of culture and civilization were not items of war, but bones mended through communal care, you know?
Hmm.
It's intrinsically in our nature to want to care and to build each other up and to make the world a better place. It's just that we've been captured by these fucking psychopaths, you know what I mean? And like, to the point you were building, I do wish Kamala would have won because it would have been preferable to this. But let's be 150 fucking percent realistic about this. Neoliberalism was a slow death march on the trolley problem, and it was sending us towards a climate catastrophe that was completely unavoidable. At least right now, everybody's seeing the folly of gas and oil reliance, and we're starting to understand that we need fucking no excuse now. There has to be renewable resources, or with how much we're fucking the future, it's not going to work, right? Everything will fall apart, and they're really starting to have their ghosts catch up with them at this point. Um, so yeah, I think we were overdue for a problem to cause us to reassess our shit. Because the real truth is, as long as you can get by and survive day to day, most people aren't going to give up their own survival to try and throw down a system for other people. But you
Hmm.
make it so that those basic people can't survive and they'll have to tear down the system by necessity, which isn't even a condition any of us have set. That's like a pre existing condition from capitalism, you know?
Yeah, it's just what's been proven kind of thing.
Scott, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm here.
Yeah, just wanted to check in.
So, life updates. Um, life updates, but also to kind of combat the craziness is like I am really into gardening. I mean, I was into gardening when we first moved in, but this year it's like I'm leveling up my game. It is April 12th, and I have everything planted. I'm beside myself with joy to be so efficient. I was actually just out there earlier, so I'm kind of tired at the moment. So if I sound tired, that's why. It's not me being disinterested. I'm just tired because I was out working in the garden early in the day. But man, like
You're gonna need a nap after this.
what a feeling of like building this like urban oasis, like and to build something. So I would suggest that for anyone. You have some grass and dirt area. Try to garden. It's nice, but also like I'm not gonna lie though, like it's cost me money to like it does kind of cost money to kind of do, especially in an urban, because you need dirt. Dirt is my
Hmm.
biggest my biggest issue in acquiring. And that is another thing too. Actually, kind of circling back to when we were talking about our energy crisis that we're in. Well, that we've been in realistically for a good while, but now that everyone's realizing, so fuel shortages and stuff. Food's going to become a big problem very soon, if not already. Because one, we can't move it as efficiently. All this shit going on with the war, and also the our oil and shit being tied up, but also fertilizer. I was reading is going to be a huge problem. There's going to be a shortage of it. So if you're not can't garden, maybe compost. Try to do whatever kind of help the backyard garden system because I have this feeling that more of us are going to be relying on these kind of more local sorts of works that we're all going to build.
Mhm.
So I've just kind of been, I don't know, I've sort of been feeling a little bit like a hermit in a cave, but not really because I'm not really hibernating. I'm not hiding away, but I am kind of hiding away from like the internet and like headlines and social media because it's like gross. That's just kind of where I've been hiding is in the yard where I've been.
I've what you call it? I found my spark to practice more magic. I've been practicing
Yay!
magic now, I think almost for a week. So little things daily. Um, I'm getting back into my daily practice, and Jay has been wonderfully kind and lovingly wonderful to help me start getting my garden back together.
Mm.
Um, I don't have anything like the yard is not done yet. Um, it's a lot of work to get my backyard reorganized and cleaned, and the whole it needs like the whole nine. We have alley cats and stuff, so it needs to be the brick needs to be washed and everything else, and then all the old soil needs to be thrown away and stuff. But I do intend to garden this year. I'm also going to be using the beautiful space I have out front of my house to also grow plants and things. I'm going to be focusing a lot on herbs and flowers and roots that we could use in our personal magical practice. When I say we, I mean Jay and Darian and Rue and friends,
Yeah,
whoever needs them.
more.
Um, and myself, of course, and medicinal stuffs, medicinal and wart cunning plants. Um,
That's exactly what I thought.
yeah. So that's yeah. So my mom always likes to grow some kind of at least one or two vegetables. Darian likes to grow peppers of some kind, particularly hot peppers. I like to do little red chilies. This year I wanted to
Oh
do
yeah.
a really old Italian folk charm, and I was gonna use with little red chilies. Not gonna talk about it because I hate talking about my magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna be real with you. Even as we're talking right now, I'm actually working on another sigil. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie. Like when you guys
congratulations.
like, what are you doing? I'm like, I know you guys are talking about politics. You know what it is too. I'm also. I don't mean
Yes,
to sound
Veg.
like. I don't mean to sound like this either. It's just that I pay so much attention to politics that I need to take a break. I'm a
No, that's fair.
little.
No, that's fine.
I
Like,
stay
look,
because I try to stay informed as best as possible. And like I have a friend in Iran, and he like it's hard because I try to I it's difficult trying to laugh. I feel ridiculous because he's like when the first bomb fell, he literally took a picture of going to the barber, and he was like, well, when I die I'd rather look good, um and he's a doctor in
Mm.
Iran, and and it's hard because I'm like terrified for him, but he's like sending me memes and like just like Instagram videos, and I'm like, how, like, and I can't put myself in his shoes, so like I'm wrestling with this sort of like the privilege of living in America where like,
not an active war
Yeah, you
zone.
know how it is, right? We're
Yeah,
not in an active war zone, right?
right.
Um,
If I may, though, I have the same response to you guys being Americans that you do to him being over there in Lebanon because you're in so much more of a danger zone than I am. That the shoe's on the other foot if you zoom out perspective just a little bit, right?
True.
you know, yeah,
Um,
I see what you mean.
because it is weird because depending on your situation, right? Humans are very adaptable. We get used to things. And honestly, like your friend texting you, going to the barber because I'd rather look good if I die. That's also like I feel like that's a very like one. Is he a millennial or is he older?
I think he's older millennial.
Okay, so one, that's just fucking millennial. That's just the
Yes.
millennial outlook on fucking life. But like,
Not living our
um,
life for a fucking apocalypse, we wouldn't live at all.
huh?
If millennials stopped living our lives for any apocalypse, we would have never lived at all.
Right, yeah, like, so like the fact that he's like, oh yeah, go to the barber, like I feel like if the situation was reversed and, say that Philly was an active war zone or whatever, there was bombs and stuff, like I just feel like any one of us could probably have that same quip, like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
and you
gonna
guys
die, I'd rather
do.
look good. It's
You guys
like,
literally do though, because your medical system kills you, and you have to go through like all like as a Canadian, y'all have no idea how much I get scared for my American friends, right?
mm,
Because like at any moment, if they go hardcore Gestapo and start rounding up trans people, most of my trans friends actually live in this. I I
yeah,
watch you guys literally do the exact same thing about joking under surviving a literal fascist dictator a la 1950s Germany. And we all do it as humans. You have to be a little bit glib to survive something that is trying to crush your heart, mind, body, and soul, you know? And the
yeah.
whole I would rather look good on my way to die is an act of resistance against people who want us to feel dread and to hide in and be ashamed, you know? So I already see you guys doing it, and you're braver than you think you are.
In a way. Oh, that makes good. Because I will
It's
say, like, I agree with you, Scott. I was thinking about your point of like, here we are as Americans sitting over here in America as America. I don't want to say America, like our government, right? As our
right.
government blows up all these other fucking countries and causes all this mass chaos, like all of us are over here, like, I'm just, I got bills going to work,
Certified
you
tower
know?
moment, bro.
Huh?
I said certified tower moment, bro. Shit's going
Yeah.
down, but I got bills to pay.
Exactly. It's the weirdest fucking shit. And so like there was a level of guilt that I was feeling as well. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm still able to pay my bills. I got money coming in. Like, we're doing okay despite everything, despite the fact that we're at war and, are we paying through the ass through for fucking gas right now?
Mhm.
Yes, but we're still able
Mhm.
to quote maintain
Yep.
that. And it's
We're
just
still not wrapping our reserves either.
right, and I'm like, we're not like back we were in the '70s. Like, there's no gas shortage here at the moment. Um, there's no lines for gas and things like that. If anything, I think people are waiting until the last possible second to fill their tanks
So,
right now.
as a tanks driver, that's a gamble because every time that you wait for the price to come down, the price could go up. So I
Yep.
caught it dipping cents on Saturday because Saturday is when less people fill up. I filled my fucking tank on Saturday under the event that I might not be able to get another fill for the next 6 fucking months or whatever.
Yeah, I think Katie was saying she's like, I'm only putting $25 increments in my car. Like that's all I'm doing.
So enough to drive for half a day, I guess.
I guess. And I was like,
Right.
dude, whatever psychologically makes you feel better about this, whatever. Like it doesn't matter because everyone's getting fucked right now. Um, but it's just it is weird to have that level of disconnect of being like, wow, and also this idea too, and we need to think about this when we think about other countries because I was thinking about my dad, right? I talk about my dad a lot on here. He doesn't have very progressive on things, but he's a registered Democrat. He doesn't really like Trump, but what he does like about Trump is that Trump is now blowing up, or are they still in a ceasefire? I don't know. He is happy as shit that Trump attacked Iran. Um, and he's very excited about this, and like we got to get them back. And then I looked up some history. Apparently, like they had taken some people hostage of ours years ago, and so it was like a whole big televised thing, and so that's kind of what fueled this like anti-Iranian thing here in the U.S. And then you have like 9/11 on top of it, and that just like didn't help the American perception of pretty much anyone over in that pocket of the world. um
Yeah, which is ironic because Americans kill more of their own people than any other country, but I don't see anybody up in arms about the medical corporations about it. But an
right.
enemy nation fucking kills a couple soldiers when you're fucking war hawking them, and suddenly they're the goddamn villains.
Right, and I realize a lot of it is in America. It's our media, right? Everything has a spin, everything has an angle, everything is, everything has an angle, is what it
Mhm.
is. And I realized that with my dad. I was like, well, he's already, kind of just racist in general, so of course he's going to have this very deep, like, fuck the Iranians, we got to get them back. Of course he's going to have that sentiment, and I'm sure there are many people like him in this country because like honestly for me I was like I don't know why the fuck anyone's blowing anyone up right now. Like I don't care about your past beef, your past this, your past that. We need to globally, all of our world leaders globally need to come together and be like we have to figure out energy globally. We need to stabilize the economy globally. Like
So
we are
that's
all
why I
connected
get
now.
so that's why I get so deep into the UFO stuff, right? Because if you've seen one in person, stop me if I'm on my tinfoil box too long here. But to make that shit work, you literally need 0 point energy to do gravity repulsion, which is enough to power the entirety of the planet. So a lot of people who are really into the UFO stuff are extremely mad, not because there's weapons that they're sitting on, but they literally have the technology that can fix fucking all of this, but their profit and control structure is too fucking goddamn sacred for them to allow humanity to have a fucking future. That's why we get so goddamn mad, because like all the technology that we need to live in a utopia is right here, right now. It's just a matter of the people in the way holding us back from having a world that's worth living in.
Like for example, I am a homeowner. I have no trees in my fucking area, and so I should be able to go, like, I can go solar without no fucking issue. But you know what's keeping me from going solar is the fact that one, I need a new roof, and then I need to actually get the solar panel, so it's money. So it's just like it's
No
this
need.
ax yeah, it's like this financial barrier now I now have. So it's like, oh, you're a homeowner, but you want but then why can't they just make solar like standard issue? It should be fucking standard issue. Like they should come out with a whole directive across like all like in
Well,
all
it's
urban
simple.
places, right? Like everyone gets solar
To
now.
make solar panels, you need a complex structure of like minerals and rare stuff, which the manufacturing is mostly owned by China. That's why there's such a push against renewables, because China owns a lot of like the windmills and the solar panels, and America runs on the petrodollar, right? We're
Right.
just seeing old school economies and like imperial ways of doing things butting up against each other and having a fucking behemoth and leviathan battle at the end of times.
Yeah. And kind of circling back to what you were saying, Scott, about reigniting your magical practice, getting back into the word daily practice is such a buzzword, but it's like, getting back into a flow of practice maybe is like the better way of kind of phrasing it. That I think is gonna be like that's the thing that's gonna carry any of us out of this, especially if we're magical practitioners. Getting back into the flow of practice, remain in the flow of practice, and keep working that magic because everyone has a role to play in this. Some people are setting fires to warehouses. Other people are, out in the streets. Some people are protesting at Fetterman's office like every fucking Friday. Like, there's a lot of different things happening, but as long as we keep that pressure, but magically, I think what we need to remember as magic practitioners is the work that we do, while it may be quiet and secret, right, relatively, it is still needed and important.
Yeah, absolutely. I like one thing I'm realizing recently, and I'm gonna kind of make it about me, and then I'm gonna like broaden it out a little bit. So I've recently went bald for those who don't follow the places where I, see pictures of me. I cut off all my hair. And I absolutely love it. But on an energetic level, I didn't know this. It leaves me very open.
Mm,
I feel very different without hair, from like what I pick up on, and it's weird because it is, however, making me very aware of when I'm too open, and I'm having and because I didn't practice enough, I'm having a really hard time sort of closing. I like to picture the psychic mind like a dam, or like the eye of a camera.
mm.
um, so
Like a faucet,
I'm having a, huh?
like a faucet.
Yeah, you can
Sometimes.
see it like a faucet, but I like how like it closes a little bit and it opens. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
that turning. That's how I see it. But a faucet works too. A lot of people like the faucet analogy, and I find that I'm having a hard time closing it because I didn't practice enough. But then also too, my mom's one of those people that loves to watch like criminal cases, and she likes
ah,
to see like like when they're like interrogating the murderers and stuff.
mm,
But it's weird because I'll be sitting here on my laptop and I'm starting to like feel nauseous, and I'm
oh,
getting like sick to my stomach, and I'm like, ugh. And like in part it's because I'm listening to it, but then I'm realizing on a psychic level, I'm reading the killer, right? I'm starting to
mm,
fall into that space where I'm tapping into the murderer. No matter how old or how recent it was, I'm tapping into the headspace, or the sort of the sickening, the inhumanity, the depravity it takes, right, to kill, right? In that
right.
way, right? I'm not talking about self-defense in any form. I'm talking about murder, right? Um aggravated murder. And I think that with all these, what I'm trying to get at here, the way I wanted to broaden this is especially for the sensitives, the seers, the psychics, those with really acute honed senses, or maybe in my case not honed enough. Um, I think it's really important that we're also on a personal level, that we're taking care of our spiritual bodies, our psychic bodies, because all of this war, all of this stuff, this pain, it's something that we could feel, right? There's a
Yeah,
part of, I've always said, and I think I've said before, that there's a part of magical practitioners where we have to witness these things, witnessing pain, witnessing success, when you're there for your friends, you're witnessing something, right? You're there as sort of an energy sink. You drain off of excess, right? And I think that that's a really sacred position to be in, even in a mundane way, when you're just mundanely there for your friends. But we feel this on other levels, right? We talked about how we don't interact with the world the same way. We don't
right.
see the
Yeah,
world the same way. When other people see 100-year-old oak tree, we see something numinous, right? We see something alive, a spirit, right? A genius and a numen, right?
yeah. Other
Um,
people are like, it's an old tree. Mm-hmm.
right. It's so pretty, right? But I'm like, that's very powerful. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different
Yeah,
experience. And I think that on top of that, I think also being able for us to also be able to sort of clean up the air, if you will, right? Like, what I mean by that is a lot of this stuff, it rides the wind. It's in the ground. It rides the wind. We have to be able to um, manage the comings and goings of these war spirits, these war torn spirits. We have to be managing our war gods and our et cetera, et cetera. You get what I'm getting at here?
yeah,
Um, like it's the same way that like we talked about this before as well, when like if no one practiced magic, or no one or venerated sun gods, right, would the sun still rise? Absolutely, but it will just be the sun rising.
right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? There will be no more stories, no more power behind it, right?
Wouldn't have that
And it
same like strength.
Right, it would
You know,
lose its virtue, its potency. So we keep the potency of those things alive, and we manage those things, right? The world of stories and the mind is our space, right? That is the realm in which the magical practitioner walks. And I think it's important for us to be managing those things, making sure that the dead aren't hungry, making because and when you're killed suddenly, um, as we know through our lore, your spirit can often become very lost and confused, and very hungry or in need. Um, and it attracts even hungrier things that parasitic uh, spirits that feed and manipulate other spirits, etc. So yeah, I think it's important for the magician to and the practitioner, magic practitioner to really be on top of things as best as we possibly can, and including being in our own communities. It's a lot of weight on our shoulders. It's not a main character syndrome. It's I'm talking about years of history, right? I'm talking about what we've done through centuries, through different cultures, being there, uh, not just laying down maledictions against our enemies or blessing our communities, but managing our dead, um, helping the living as best we can. So
Yeah.
yeah, that this is the weight of practicing magic. This is the weight of taking on a title of cunning folk or witch or um, a priest or priestess in whatever tradition. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah. It is kind of like
You know,
oh, go ahead, Sophia.
I just had a very quick thought.
Mm,
You did say the sun will rise if nobody's doing magic for it, but in the
Mhm.
depths of my paranoia on nights where I'm tripping and doing a ritual like that, it sure feels like it won't if I don't.
mm,
I mean, in essence, you're like it's funny because in essence you're not wrong, right? Like on a scientific level, it will like on a very earthly, physical, like we could trust the process, axis and space and gravitational force and fields and whatnot, right? Like we know that happens, but again, there is something that needs there are other parts to this, right? What
right, yeah.
happens here, like it's like what I talk about, like the reason why I love bind runes and Scandinavian staves and sigils and veve, even because I think they're beautiful, even though I don't obviously use them for my personal practice. But the reason I love them is because there's this thing I always say, it does the thing, like when you look at
Mm,
an empowered active sigil or seal of some kind, it kind of it ripples, it moves, it has like an effect that you can perceive as somebody who works with sorcery and magic. And it's funny because other people just look at it and go, "Oh, it's just a sign. It's just something drawn on a page or etched into stone." But for us, we're like, "Whoa," and it's because we're able to sort of see the other world, right? It's
right,
this
yeah.
double world that we're perceiving into, we're living in. Our world is not the singular world, for us, right? For mystics, for sages, for witches, for magical practitioners, whatever. We're living in two worlds simultaneously. And so like you're not wrong when you're in the throes of that, Sophia, and you're like, but it's not going to, because there is a part of it that won't. It's an equally important part that people think is irrelevant because it's just, again, people don't understand the power of the story, the power of the myth, the power of
The power that's
metaphysics behind
inside.
the thing. um, and they think it's irrelevant now, but it's not irrelevant. It's not unimportant. It is. There's a reason why we refuse to die.
Yeah.
There's a reason
Yeah.
why throughout, we've terrified. Again, I've said this before too. There's a reason why even in the old myths, the cunning, the witching gods have terrified. You have Angerboda in the Norse tradition, who like the gods could only ever throw her into a forest of silver trees,
Right,
because they
yeah.
couldn't kill her. And then you have Hecate, who terrorized Zeus, um, and then
Oh,
you
they couldn't.
have
I tried to do a Hecate chant, but my mic wouldn't pick it up because of the gain. Sorry, continue.
but you know, yeah, I forget where I was going with that, but that's okay. You guys know what I was talking about, I think.
Yeah. You were
Yeah,
talking
no,
about
totally. And like, go ahead. You go ahead.
you were talking about the witching gods. Um But no, go ahead,
Mhm.
Sophia. You do your thought.
The thing is, like, even if they try to kill us, even if we didn't want to be born in, witches are a part of fucking nature, right? The thing that people don't understand is it's just like queers. You could kill every single queer on the planet today, and in 100 years, we're gonna be back. You
Yep.
cannot that out. It's an immutable fucking characteristic of the species. And the sooner people learn that, the sooner shit's going to change, right? But the thing is, people have known that because for
Mhm.
generations prior to like how we view the modern structure of the world, shit was like matrilineal. Shit was like goddess worship. Shit was a lot more like cohesive, you know? But we've had like these thousands of years of division and conflict and conquest and fucking clans and it's just it's gotten to a point where people start thinking that like that's all there is, you know, like how much we have in our modern times destroyed the idea of magic even existing by trying to like prove it away in every single instance. And actually the funny part is quantum physics just proving it more and more and more, right? But at the end of the day, these things scare people because they're unknowable. They're alien. It's different. We're always not gonna fit in, and that's okay, right? Like real talk. One thing I've been coming to terms with lately is I've gotten very good as a practitioner, right? What does that mean? It doesn't mean that I'm doing some crazy fucking ceremonial magic rituals where I have like the fucking seal of tetragrammaton on the ground and I'm conjuring a fucking spirit with a triangle so that I can yell at it and make it do my fucking bidding. Like, don't get me wrong, conjuring spirits is great, but like that's not all that magic is. Magic is so much more in depth and personal. And even like those daily devotional things, they can kind of scare the shit out of people, right? Like me going to give a fucking offering to Hecate at the new moon and putting down honeyed eggs at a crossroads and scaring the shit out of the cops that one time, right? Like they thought I was a literal fucking cryptid because I disappeared behind them. Like that was really fucking funny. But we're meant to be on the periphery. We're not meant to be like heralded in the halls and like put on the top of society. Like maybe one day things will be like, but working in the shadows, working on the edges and on the periphery, we see things that other people can't. We get fundamental aspects of life that other people just won't. Like I've really been in my crone stage lately. There's just hard truths I won't argue with people anymore, right? And
Mm.
if people are a little bit too caught up in their own idealism, I'll let them have it because at the end of the day, when you reach your crone stage, you kind of get I won't say like you're stepping away from it all and being like, oh, you know, good and bad don't matter because like evil is a very real fucking concept and it's destroying our planet, right? But there's like so many things that people will grandstand about and think that are negative, like standing up for yourself or like not doing what other people want just because they want you to do it, or sometimes being a bit of a problem because it means being more authentic to who you are. Like
Mm-hmm.
we add friction to systems sometimes, and that's our point, that's our purpose. If everything was just about going along with how everything would be, nothing would change. We have to scare people, we have to be different. You can't be something that causes difference and be identical to everything that is just by function they negate each other, you know? So it's weird to be a witch. You have these like pressures, right? You know that you have this gift and this stuff that you can do, but you want to reach to higher levels. And what makes you want to reach to higher levels other than other people talking about their work? But then other people talk about their work in a way that it becomes like fucking Instagram for witches, right? And
Yeah.
some of the most powerful, like well-read motherfuckers I know, their daily stuff is really chill. They maybe do like light some incense, meditate in the morning, pour some water into their cups, you know, maybe do like a coffee offering, and then they go about their day. And sometimes they do have time to do these really elaborate rituals. And I do know some people whose like kind of their whole lives is ritual. Like I know somebody whose entire apartment is dedicated ritual space, but
Mm.
that's just not for most people, right? So like that was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Just saw something on my bed disappear.
Huh?
I just saw a dime on my bed, and when I looked at it, it disappeared. That was very fucking weird.
Hmm.
Oh,
Well,
that's weird.
Um,
well, you paid somebody.
I've been finding way too many dimes lately. Don't even get me started about that. But yeah, magic's weird, and sometimes we're gonna feel weird for doing it, and that's fucking okay. and your magic isn't always going to look like somebody else's, and you're not always going to have that fucking Solomonic healing ritual. Sometimes
Hmm.
your shit is a lot more simple, and that's fucking a-okay, right?
Yep. Yep. It's so I love that you're talking about this right now, Sophia, because I've been thinking about this a lot and how people really there's an expectation. Firstly, there's an expectation that everyone is a professional witch, which is also aggravating.
Yes,
For
which is
real.
incorrect. You just to be into which, not to cut you off, Scott, but like
No,
Ego
no, no,
said
please.
this at Pagan Pride. Was it was he last
Two
year? No, it was
years,
2 years ago.
2 years.
Was like you're getting into this alternative religious space, whatever. But yet, in terms of witchcraft specifically, there is sort of this feeling that everyone has to become an influencer, a writer, a producer, a podcaster, a creator of some sort, and that's not the case.
Hmm. I mean, like, even down to like wanting to do spells for people to make money from doing spells. You don't
Yeah.
have to get into that. You should be. Sorry about that. Um, you should be like go do your job as a nurse. Be a witch or a practitioner in nursing. Go be a practitioner in psychology
Mm.
or the trades even, right? Go be a mason
Seriously.
or an electrician, Um, you don't need to like be a professional witch. That's the first thing. Um,
Unless you
what
want to
was the
be.
second? Hmm?
Unless you want to be. Like,
Unless
unless
you
you
And I
really
have
want to be.
some
I
absolutely
don't want
want
you
to
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 rant
be.
feel like
about
you
that.
have to be. That's right. The other thing is that there's an expectation that all magic has to be really pretty looking.
Mm.
That like
Yeah.
you have to have like a lot of, because like let's be real here, to like have like that kind of really beautified looking magic, like the stuff that looks like quote unquote super official, you know what I mean? Like
Wait,
that like makes
Scott,
you look like.
I have the perfect fucking analogy for this. Cooking
Mhm.
shows, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
the standard issue cooking show where everything is already cut and prepped and diced and fucking in its own little pretty little glass bowl, and they just put it all together and then it's done. And you're like, wait, no.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
2 shots
Yeah.
vodka.
So I'm holding right now. um you know what, I can. Where's my camera? Right here. Hello, camera. No. Are
Oh,
you doing the thing?
it looked like it wanted to, and then it didn't.
Acer quick panel. I don't know what that is. um Turn on camera. Yeah,
Yay.
here we go.
Yay!
I am holding a little paper poppet. I'm not going to
Oh,
show you the seal that's on the side facing me because then bitches can do things, but um yeah, so this little paper puppet that I intend to put a spirit into, to help me out with some stuff that's going on. Nothing bad or anything exactly, but yeah. And it's just a paper puppet, and I said it on a post on my Instagram that like you don't need a um a hand stitched poppet. You don't need a wooden effigy that you painstakingly carved. Jay, you and I were talking about clay. I was like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't need clay that you spent, painstakingly spent 2 weeks processing, natural clay that you spent 2 weeks processing. This is enough. This is a manila folder. I exercised the paper so that way it was prepared for ritual use, magical use. And then I started that. It isn't done yet. I wouldn't be showing it if it was, but
it looks great
once
though.
thank you. And it's a little lopsided, as like a larger leg over here and a larger arm over here. But
I
like,
wouldn't have
it's not
noticed
like
if
it's
you
gonna
hadn't
work
said
perfect.
anything.
Right, right. That's what I mean, right? It's imperfect, but it's perfectly good enough, right? And it's
Mhm.
more than perfect to get what I need done. And this is another thing that I think is really important for, I think a lot of newer people, though, to magic, but maybe even older people, because we all kind of fall into it, right? It's a trap that anyone could really fall into, especially because we're in the age of social media, and we look at other practitioners who are like, should my altars look like that? Should my magic look
No,
like that? And then I'm
no.
like, you know what? No.
Like
No.
real talk,
Um,
I'm gonna go on a mini rant here. Remember how you said not everybody needs to be a professional witch?
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a problem. Let me
Yes.
explain. If you need to be a professional witch, I'm gonna throw this out there for all my fellow professional witches. It's because you're fucked up as a human being and you can't survive doing any other thing. And you basically need to write that book to put your fucking information out there because there's no other way that you can exist. Like, I've gotten to a point now where my life is a mess. I'm constantly waiting on like a film show to happen for me. And I'm
Mm.
like in a cycle of boom and bust, and the bipolar nature of it is driving me fucking crazy. I don't have any stability and it's emotionally dysregulating me. I need to start writing my shit down because I've gotten to the point of practice over 24 years that I have a lot of information to share, and it would be irresponsible for me to not share it. And it also is shooting myself in the foot, and I have so much to give, but I don't give it, right? So I
Right.
have a situation where my life is fucked if I don't become an author, because all I'm going to be doing cleaning trash for the rest of my fucking days until my body physically breaks, and I can't do that, right? So if you can be like a doctor or a technician or whatever and do your magic on the side, good. That's a healthier way of living. Let me grab you by the coat again and say that's a healthier way of living, motherfucker. Professional witches, we're messed up. We think about what kind of person you have to be to do magic for a fucking living, right?
Right. Now, I also, well, I get what you mean too. I do. I also want to note too that you can still have, like, if you want to write a book, you can and have a professional career. Now, or a career
Yes.
in general. Again, that can also be, I also want to duly noted, that can also be like you could be a witch and work at a CVS, doing cashiering, right? All these things are necessary. All work is real work. Um,
Hmm.
but like, let's just, because an author I have on hand, right? We all know this book. Keldon is amazing. It's backwards, unfortunately. The Crooked Path.
No, you're good.
The
It
Crooked Path.
shows. Yeah, it's just a little blurry. But yeah, The Crooked Path by Keldon for
By
anyone
Keldon.
who's audio
Keldon.
only.
Keldon is a clinician. Keldon is a clinical therapist with a master's degree in clinical psychology. Um, and he still does talks at he was just at he was just talking to Thumper Forge at some conference that they were at, some witchy conference. So
Paganicon?
uh
PaganCon, I think.
I think
Recently.
so. Yeah, and he still does talks about witchcraft and magic and stuff, and he still has a professional career. Um, so like you can
Corey.
kind of,
Corey
huh?
Hutchison. He's still a teacher at
Or
like
is
Kutztown or
he's a
something.
professor. Yeah, he's a professor at he's Texas, I think, somewhere in
Oh,
Texas.
okay.
I think it's Texas now, I think, or something like that, or something. But yeah, he's there's plenty of people, so you can have a job, and if you still want to be like in the community, like I'm still trudging my way through school, but my intention, my is still to get a brick and mortar store for Betwixt occult supplies.
Yeah.
um like I still want to see a real place with uh where I can come to work and see Jay and Rue and Darian wants to be cashier, like
Thank God,
um
because I don't want to. I really.
Darian wants to.
I'm
Darian
so
already is
good at
like, I want
everything
to work at a
else.
cashier.
Good.
Yeah, I'll do
Cashier
everything. I'll
extraordinaire.
vacuum, I'll clean, I'll do everything. um but yeah. So I'm still really invested, but I also don't think owning an occult shop is professional witch. Um, Professional witch specifically is, hey, my ex cheated on me. I want you to make his dick not work anymore, right? Like that's professional witch. That like that kind of work is professional witch. That's a really cheap way of putting it, but that's the
That's
vibe,
I
right?
fair.
I would even go as far as to say the occult supply store counts as well because there's so many degrees of professional witch. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah,
Sure,
there
sure.
is. Yeah, there is a lot of different levels there. And especially because like a cult shop. There is a whole another level of running in a cult shop too. Like it's then you have to be like business witch, and that's another thing that Evo said. I really want. I feel like we should just have Evo back on here again. He's so full
Love
of
to have Evo
just
on.
Okay.
very
Yeah.
wise
I would love to
information.
have him back on here.
But he had said something to me because I had talked to him briefly about like my dreams, my visions, but having a shop at some point. How I think it'll probably progress is that basically I would love to open the shop and then Rue doesn't have to work anymore. Then Rue can work at the shop full time. I'll still keep my job because health insurance is, I still
Mhm.
need that health insurance. for as long as I can ride that. Um,
I could work at the shop while I go through school.
right, and so I have a lot of people actually that can work at the shop. It's just that the shop
Mhm.
has to make enough money to pay the people working there, and that's what it really
Yeah.
comes down to. It's that, and that's where business comes in, business skills, business strategy, and those are the things that not every witch knows how to do, and not every witch is skilled at doing. I mean, you can't be good at everything, right? You like Scott, I'm not going to put you on blast, but Scott is probably not the person to be
Oh
running,
no,
the books of the business, right? Like Scott would be
absolutely
like, "Oh,
not.
fuck that."
I
But
won't
Me
even
is
be able to
either. I
focus
didn't
on
do
it, let
that.
alone do it.
right, but though is Scott the person to be like, hey, let's brainstorm, what's our next batch of oil that we're going to come out with? Oh, okay, well, this is happening and these herbs are ready so we can get this done.
And customer engagement, I'm really good at that too.
Right. Like Scott's the guy you're kind of like on the sales floor kind of person, but
Mhm.
not
And you'd be
quite.
great with a tarot table at the back too, like when you're
Mhm.
not walking around doing some readings for people.
Mhm. And that's where community comes in. And that's why I've always tried to surround myself with people. Like everyone has a different skill. Like I know that I am like, have I ever owned a business, ran a business before? No, but I know that I could do it. I know that I
You
could
got a
fucking do it. I know I could figure it the fuck out, and I know that Darian's brain is also good for that shit too,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to money and the managing of it. So I just know that between the circle that I have here, just the four of us, right? Me, Drew, Scott, Darian, just that crew right there of getting that shop started, amazing. And then
Mhm.
of course, because it's me, I have like a ridiculous vision of like, and then we get a Canadian store too, and then but then that really runs
Look,
into, is that your dream? Do you even want to run an occult shop? Who
I'll
even
tell you what
knows?
I actually plan on doing. Um, I've been getting synchronicities from the universe, and it's made me start writing a book. I'm not going to go too much into the book. It's about UFOs and the occult.
Hmm.
And what's going to make it special is it doesn't just examine UFOs from the occult perspective, it gives people who are not familiar with the occult techniques to engage with them.
So kind
So,
of like a really nice blend. It's that paranormal witch. I can never remember the name of the book, but it was this great or Witch's Guide to the Paranormal. It was that book. There was this idea. It blended paranormal science, like whatever, if there's another official name for that, it's escaped me. But it blended paranormal science and witchcraft into one book, and it kind of gave enough, information about both sides that was like
yeah,
enough to understand how they intertwine. So
yeah.
that's kind of what you're doing here.
And it's going to be difficult as fuck to write because the thing is, anytime I'm writing the occult side, it's theory, theory, theory. I have to crack a lot of really hardcore subject matter. And then anytime I'm talking about the UFO side, it's cite your sources, get your fucking references, and get your fucking
Oh
bibliography
yeah.
together. Because you're gonna have to do that because it's a nonfiction book. It's not just like writing fiction where you just start cracking it out and you're like, I don't like where I'm at, or ooh, I'm in a wall block. You're like, oh fuck, I need to go research how I actually spell Dweeny She so I can put it in a fucking book because I can't figure out how to Google it right now. Shit like that, right? So it's difficult as fuck, but my ultimate goal is to move into writing scripts eventually because I don't know if you know this or not. Because I work in film, I read script.
Hmm.
Scripts are stupid. They're so simple in their writing levels. It frustrates me to see
I
that
love writing scripts.
yeah, people who are a fraction of a good writer, as I am, will sit down and write a script, and I'll read that script. I'm like, this is fucking trash. The only thing that's good about it is like the overall story beats and the dialogue, right?
Right? Yeah.
I could do better than that. So eventually, I do want to get into like writing film and like actually being in the producer end of stuff because a lot of people who are into the UFO stuff and into the paranormal stuff, they're film producers, right? And I would do really fucking well in a writing room, writing shit about paranormal stuff. Or like for example, at the party I was at last night,
Like
something came up on the screen.
documentary stuff or like fiction.
No, fiction that's actually based on reality. So here's my real goal: to do stuff based on reality, but to do it under the lens of fiction. so that it can be exposed to people and they can be primed for what's actually happened without having to tell them like, oh, the government's been secretly researching psychic phenomena on children since the 1970s, that type of shit, right? Which I
Mm.
would love to do a show about that. Like, that's actually one of the shows that I first want to do, is like a show about kids who've like survived that psychic research program, and like how they get pulled into this world of like espionage and have it like be a fucking psychic spy thriller. Like, that would be so fucking cool, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to get into the film writing aspect of things as well. And the book just dovetails with that, because like the whole plan with the book is, when I get the book out, that will get us attention. I want to open up a side podcast as well at the same time, so we could have Witches Betwixt going, because Witches Betwixt is very specific. You're not
Mm.
going to reach the same broader audience when you're talking about queer witchcraft as you are when you're just talking about high strangeness, which is what the other podcast would be about, right? And
Mm.
you both would be very welcome to come on whenever y'all are fucking available for that. I'd fucking love to have y'all there. But
Mm.
the plan is, I'd be doing this with you guys. I'd have that one on the side, and then I'd be having book stuff, and I'd be doing film stuff. And suddenly my life just becomes this multimedia journey where I'm putting together all these skills that I've accumulated over the past 24 years of practice, right? Like, I didn't try to get into film. It was a complete fucking accident. But then, like, you start looking at the overall pictures of your life, and you can see the cohesion between these disparate parts, and how like things that happened 20 years ago give me the skills to deal with stuff now. That's fucking wild. There's like congruence to that, right? So I'm following that train and getting more into like the multimedia witch angle of it, because I want to be like writing narratives and coming up with theory and like changing the societal view of how we look at magic, right? Like, to me, film is really powerful because people weren't even afraid of fucking Jaws until sharks until Jaws came out, right?
True. Yeah.
So if I can change the way that people think, or give them like more to work with, or give them tools to build off of, that's what I'm here to do, right?
Mm.
I'm not that witch who's going to be sitting at a table doing tarot, because I refuse to even charge money for my tarot. I'll only do it for people who ask me when they need it, and I'm actually quite fucking good at it, but I will only ever do it on request, and I don't advertise my services. It's shit like that, right?
Mm.
We all got our specifications, and just like you're not going to have Scott running the books, you're not going to want to tie someone like me down to a consistent location like a storefront, but you
Right.
bet your ass it'd be great for me to roll through, right? And like, say I do
Send
get
you to
really
all
big in the world,
the pagan and witchcraft conventions.
for
We'll send
real.
you on the con circuit.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, say
Me
we
and
do
Scott
go
will
up, say I do,
hold down the home base at the shop.
yeah. And like, say I am a film worker or like a film writer at one point, then I could like come in and we could do like a day where it's like, you know, we have an interview and like people are talking about shit there, and it's like a
Hmm.
big event over in Philly, like it'd be fun. And I want to like, I know so many cool people and so many cool witches, and I just want to like keep networking with people, because I have a really good gift for like finding weirdos, grabbing them, being like, "You're cool, you belong in this network over here. Let's go," and making something. I'm really good at that. So like, find what your magic shit is that works for you, and do that, because you're not trying to be somebody else. You just gotta be you. Fuck the witch influencer crowd. Fuck trying to make your altar look like somebody else's. Fuck trying to make your rune staff look like somebody else's. If you like it, that's what matters. My friend has the ugliest fucking rune staff in the world. If you were to see it, it looks like a horror movie
Feel
prop.
like that
It's
is
got a
god
deer
awful.
skull. Well, it's not god awful. It looks terrifying. It's got like a deer skull with antlers. It's
Oh
got
hell
like
yeah.
coyote teeth and claws and fox claws dangling from it. It's got a coyote tail and like hawk feathers and it's like fucking six animals died and
Trad
made this
witch
for
is
so long.
salivating. Like oh.
It,
Uh-huh.
it's literally it's a walking fine for him if he takes it out into parks and rec areas, because you're gonna be like,
Oof.
you cannot have
Yeah.
it.
I literally was like, folk horror.
But that's how his magic looks. It doesn't look pretty. It looks horrifying, and it works really fucking well.
I'm
Yeah,
so glad you
yeah.
said that, Sophia, because this gives me an opportunity to kind of say this here on the podcast too, because me and Scott were talking about this. Is like when I do woodworking stuff, and Scott also does like some wood carving, and just when we do our crafts, the crafts are magic. The magic is the craft. Like it's all kind of one encompassing thing. But the idea is that it is
Yes,
not
yes,
meant to
yes.
be pretty. It's not meant to be pretty. It is meant to function. And
Mhm.
it's not form, it's function. And I do understand that when you do have a shop, there is a level of form that you have to your product or whatever it is that you're presenting.
Sure.
But in our case, I am not just making a pretty rune staff. I am not just making a pretty rune set. I am making magical tools. And that is where kind of the difference comes in because what you're paying for, you're not paying for the pretty, you're paying for the fact that I made this during the hour of blah. The hour of Mercury or the hour of Mars, or you're paying for the fact that I sat in a ritualized, setting with this for X amount of time over the course of whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the magic.
Right.
And it's not about the prettiness of it. And I think that's one thing I guess I just wanted to kind of hone in is there's going to be a huge revamp to the website and shop coming up and a lot of products. I'm very inspired to make more products and stuff, but I guess I just wanted to kind of put out there this is primitive like folksy witch stuff. You're not gonna find
No.
the super refined pretty shit.
I think the super refined pretty shit is actually a hallmark of capitalism more than anything. Because if you look at traditional fetishes, they've almost always been like handmade and hand carved. And like,
Yes.
if you look at old school witchcraft items, they're like slightly kind of ugly sometimes.
Yes,
That's
the
fucking
rough.
fine. Like, we've gotten so into Instagram aesthetic witchcraft through like the crystal new age shit that like people have forgotten that like sometimes an altar is a fucking rock. Sometimes
Yes.
an altar is a windowsill with a cup of coffee and some fucking coins and some candies you put on it. If you know, you fucking know,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Or sometimes it's a shoebox you're hiding under your bed because of
Oh
whatever
my god.
reason.
Or a
Shoebox with
wooden
the
toy castle, a wooden toy castle that you keep underneath your makeup desk for the little people to go live in, and like you seasonally rotate items in it so that like when it's winter and they're going to be staying, the beds are made. When it's summer, the doors are open so they can come and go as they please. Shit like that.
yeah, the kind of shit that
Yep.
would make other people go, "You're fucking nuts." Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
If people don't call you at least a little bit crazy, are you even doing witchcraft,
Right.
or are you just doing Instagram witchcraft?
Right. Like, look, one of my favorite bits of folk magic, it's a cleansing ritual where you kick a head of cabbage through your house,
That just
and
sounds
you gotta like
cathartic.
you gotta
That's
kick
how
it
you
like all the
move.
way through the whole house, and then you gotta kick it out the house and down the street, and it absorbs all the bad shit, all the negative, sad, stank energies, and it
Like,
gets rid of it. And I'm like, can you imagine, like in South Philly, me just like kicking a head of cabbage down the street? I was like, I would do it because I don't give a shit, but like anymore. But like, I would never have, even just like 3 years ago.
I will
yeah.
say
Yeah.
that I am firmly in my I don't give a fuck era. I will be 35 in 3 days. So
May
I'm
I,
hitting that point.
may I just suggest
Hmm.
that's what I'm starting to call the crone phase, right? It's like
Really?
at a
35
certain point,
seems
yes.
a
No,
little
no, no, no,
young.
no, no. It's not the age, it's the attitude, right? So
Oh,
here's an
yeah, I see.
example.
Hmm.
When I was younger, I used to like ask people permission to do magic on their stuff if they didn't believe in magic. I'd be like to my friends,
Right.
"Oh, can I protect your house?" And they'd be like, "Yeah" or "No." At this point, if I want protections on the space I'm in, I put them on. If they're a practitioner, I'm going to ask them. And if they're not a practitioner, why am I going to care about the opinions of someone who doesn't even believe that my magic is real, right?
True.
Protect the space when I'm in it now. And it's like way fucking better. Like, I don't really cast my pearls before, I don't want to say fun, but like, there's a difference between doing immoral magic, like say love spells to fuck people over.
Right.
And there's a difference between doing a hot foot spell to get rid of a fucker and not being like, oh, but what about him? What is he going through? Bitch, what about you? What are you going through with him? You know what I mean? Like, the crone takes care of herself first and doesn't let other people disrupt her center of where she needs to operate. A little
I,
bit
s-
crone. I don't
I
I don't
feel
like
that.
being perfectly nice person. I like being slightly abrasive because, like, if I'm always nice to you, I'm not telling you the truth all the time. I'm
Mm,
kissing your ass to play social clout games. I think that the most respectful thing that I can do for somebody as a friend or as a caring neighbor is to be honest with them when they don't want to hear it,
mm,
because I'm not somebody who needs people to like me at this point. I've gotten very good at being disliked and being okay with who's in my corner because I know the ones that I have. So if I need to tell somebody you're a fuckhead because of this and here's why, I don't need to like go and try and make peace with him afterwards. My job is to tell him why he's a fuckhead in that moment and move on, you know?
hmm.
And that's the crone energy.
I feel that. A lot of I have, people that are older than me that I hang out with that are firmly in their, 50s, 60s, some of them. Um, and they say that too, like they would always say like, once they hit like their 40s is a common
Yeah.
thing I hear them say is once they hit their 40s, they're like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care. I
Yes.
don't care. I don't care. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you
Also,
say. And it's not a matter of like I'm putting my head in the sand. It's nothing like that. It's just I am going to do me, and you're either gonna die mad about it or you're gonna like not give a shit. Like it's just one of those things like I don't care about your opinion of how I'm living my life, and I am
yeah.
firmly in that because the other day I was leaving the train and there's like this little park that I walk past to go back to my house, getting off the train, come back from work. There was just this beautiful tree branch just right on the ground, and I was like, "Oh, that's a staff. That's a fucking staff right there. That's what it's gonna be, and that's what I want it to be." And I was like, "Do I really just pick up this tree branch and like carry it back to my house and be, that weird guy walking through the streets of Philly with a tree branch?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna pick up this
Exactly.
tree
That's exactly
branch."
who you are.
Yep. And
Fuck
I
everybody else who thinks you're crazy for that.
Yep, and unfortunately, like no one said anything. I'm sure I got looks. I'm sure I'm on a lot of people's, ring cameras, as I'm walking by the street. But also, from a perspective, are you really gonna fuck with the guy holding a tree branch, though? Like,
No, you get your ass beat by a switch if you do.
When I sit outside on certain full moons and I sit out there and I
smell the
do my
crazy.
devotionals to Luna and I have like a divination tool with me and there's candles and incense burning on my step. People like they notice it, right? And they're like, "Whoa," they're definitely like that's a thing.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like I don't feel I don't feel attacked. I don't feel judged, whether I am or I am. I don't care. I don't care if you're interested.
Literally.
I don't care if you're think it's stupid. I don't literally couldn't care
don't
any
care.
less if I tried to.
Simply
I
don't.
just don't care anymore. Um, and it's because, it's my life. Number one, I could do whatever the fuck I want to. Number two, just because you can't see the things that I can see doesn't mean that the world isn't the way that I see it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't see stories and the power and the virtue of things. I can. And maybe you're not meant to, and that's okay, right? I'm not making fun of you. I don't think myself better than you. It's just that I am meant for magic and you are meant for whatever you're meant for. It's
Yeah.
fine, like that's fine. And
God, if
that's how
everyone
I
was a
feel about
magic
it.
practitioner, that would be fucking awful.
It'd be fucking trash.
Awful. What
It'd
an
be like,
awful
imagine if
world.
everybody was trans.
Right. Gosh.
What
No,
happened?
if everyone was trans, right? Like imagine if
That would
everyone
fuck
was
you.
trans, if everyone was a magical practitioner, if everyone was queer. Even though we do
Hmm.
always say like everyone's a little bit queer, what we
I
mean
think
is
most
like
people.
everyone's been attracted to the same gender at some point probably, and also you may have also wanted to, I don't know, cross dress at some point in your fucking life. So, whatever.
Buy a pair of boobies and masturbate with them on. Just saying, a lot of guys do that.
Yeah, it's a real popular thing that especially the more money you have, the richer you are, the more you would
Eh,
be into
you do it more closeted, like though. It tends to be in secret.
Christy
except
Gnome's husband.
if you're Christine Ohm's husband, you have your full face in the fucking picture. That's where like part of me is like I get a little conspiracy theory about that because I'm like, was it staged? Did they just make it up,
No.
just to like
No, that
have
was
some
real.
media
No, ain't
attention.
nobody gonna be putting out photos without their nipples aligned like that without actually being a degenerate just being.
The yeah, the upward facing nipple.
Just fucking shoot me now, Christ.
Even mine are surgically altered, but at least they're like aligned, like damn.
I know that
You
that
have
one's
you
facing
have
up.
kitty
One's
cohesion.
that was a lot. That was funny. With his pink Lycra
Um,
shorts.
on a similar point to the crone stuff, one thing I find very frustrating about modern times is how much people will use morality as an excuse to do something that has nothing to do with morality. And I
Yeah.
say this as like a really hardcore leftist. I'm going to give you an example. I know a girl who didn't want to play a game because she came up with reasons as to why that game was no good morally, right? And
Mm.
it was marathon, right? And I said,
Uh,
really, you don't want to play marathon because of this, but the game that you're playing now, which is Arc Raiders, is the same game that you morally grudged about fucking 3 months ago because they used AI voices, and now you're playing it, and you don't expect me to notice that, like, once you're done using the grandstanding, points out, like, I don't want to play this, and then you go do it later. You can fucking see that, right? And
yeah.
if you're gonna be using your morals to determine why you're doing something, you better be fucking consistent about it, because if not, you're literally just using it as a cudgel to say, I don't feel like doing this. I'm going to use morals to tell you that you should feel bad about a type of way and let me do this anyways. And like, at the end of the day, if you want to do that thing, go play that fucking game. If you don't want to play that game, don't play the game. You don't have it to be about a fucking moral thing if it has nothing to do with fucking morals. It's like a post from one of my favorite content creators was about not using Shein because it's very toxic. And then people are
Oh
like,
yeah.
you're coming for poor people, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, bitch, I'm poor. I lived on hand me downs and thrift. That is still cheaper than Shein. Shut the
Yep.
fuck up. And they
Thrift
use a moral grandstanding. Sorry, go ahead, Scott.
No, I was just gonna say I've been wanting to get more into thrifting. Actually, I've been looking at thrifting, and it's just such a better like, and even for like my friend just got a beautiful what you call it, antique chair for like
Yeah.
$5, and it was in perfect condition,
Yeah.
and it was like super beautiful. It had like the woodworking done. It was gorgeous, and
Mhm.
I was like, oh my God, he's like $5. I was like, that's crazy.
Thrifting
I got
is my
classic
life.
vintage Doc Martens for $10 that have lasted me 2 fucking years now. And that was just a thrift find.
Right.
But
Speaking of
like,
thrift
that's
finds,
the
I
thing.
actually found a really good thrift find yesterday. I have to gloat about it. So I have a bunch of CDs. I don't really have a way to listen to my CDs that I have. I finally bought like a stereo, like a little boombox.
Yeah.
I got a Sony one, CD player and two tape
Ooh,
decks. 30
hell yeah.
bucks. For 30
Yeah,
bucks.
man.
Hell
That's not
yeah.
bad at all. That's great.
So I'm back. The
I've been
90s are
wanting, it's
back.
so funny because I've been wanting to get back into like DVDs and
Yeah, physical
like
media.
I want to start owning my own media
Yeah.
again.
Yup.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah.
Why did we ever
I have
leave?
a whole stack
I
of
know, it
I have
was
a whole
stupid.
stack
We
of
were dumb.
CDs actually. I probably bought 15 CDs this winter to just start repopulating my supply of shit because
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in my car, I don't have to hit a streaming service. I can just hit play on that Tool CD or play on that Nessa Barrett CD, or I can throw in Mr. Bungle or, System of a Down, and
You know,
it's just always going to be there for me and it's never going to get taken away because I didn't pay a fucking fee this goddamn month.
exactly. And the other thing too is like I will say this, I was still a LimeWire kid. I know we're kind of off in the weeds a little bit and we are a little bit over our hour, but I was a
Good.
LimeWire kid. I was a downloading music kid, okay? I could only purchase X amount of CDs because I only had X amount of money, right? And they did cost,
Period.
considerable amount. So, yeah, did I do my fair share of illegal downloading? Absolutely. Um, and then when streaming services came out initially, we were all kind of cool about it because we were like, oh, cool, we don't have to carry these CDs everywhere. We don't have to, you know, it's all compact. And so for a while it worked, but it's just when the business model started changing and it became about ads and all this other crap and they're not paying the
Right.
artists, then it just became really ugly. And now I'd rather
Hmm.
just buy the damn CD because I'm older now. I do have more disposable income. I'm not like a kid, working my, dishwasher job or whatever. So I do have more money now, so I can buy, CDs. I was fortunate enough that I was able to hang on to a good amount of the CDs that I had. Um, I can't say the same for like my old magazines and stuff. Like there's a lot of old stuff that I've gotten rid of that I really
Magazines
wish I
don't hold
didn't.
up very well. They're like kind of built to be destroyed by time, sadly.
Kind of, yeah. It was a lot of Game Informer, like for them old game like stuff. But
Yeah, Nintendo
Mhm.
Power.
I will say this: the other music nerd part of me is this: is it's different when you listen to a whole album.
Yeah,
Listen
start to
to
finish.
an album from start to finish, and you really see the picture of what they were creating. It's so
Yeah.
different, and now everything is very single driven in the music industry.
Did you
Also, like
real
when you
quick?
listen to an album, go ahead, Scott.
No. Mine was a stupid little. God, say what you're saying.
Oh, okay, I'll be quick.
No,
When you
you're
listen
good.
to an album start to finish, you'll actually appreciate a lot more songs out of it, and there always will be those few songs that you skip,
Yeah.
right? But then when you get that all killer, no filler CD, like I don't know if y'all like dark pop, but Nessa Barrett's Porn Star album is so or sorry, Aftercare album where she has the song Porn Star on it. It's so fucking good. I can put it start to finish and maybe skip like one song in it. And you appreciate that artist so much more when they're giving you like 18 songs on an album and they all, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's so true. And I was experiencing that again, because I will do that sometimes with streaming services. Like I'll play a whole album from start to finish because that's just the kind of person I am. I'm kind of nerdy about music like that.
Yeah.
Um, but it was really nice to pop that disc in, and then you hear that you put it in, you hear the little spin, and it
Yeah,
starts
the
to
little yeah.
spin, and, and you're like, we're back, we're back. Why did we ever leave? Um, yeah, it was a good feeling. But anyway, we're at an hour and 20. This was great. This was great. Coming
Yeah, this
back
was
into
really good.
things. We didn't really have a mission here, but that was fine because we're just getting back into it. Um, I don't know if we'll probably have some intermittent periods where we're just not able to record or whatever. Um, Life is hard to keep up on, and it is what it is. So, but for today, any sort of concluding thoughts or
Um. Ooh. Yeah, your magic does not have to be pretty. It can be homespun and homegrown, and it is equally as effective. You can use herbs from the spice, section of your grocery store, as long as you talk to them and recognize that they're a living spirit. Still, you can use whatever you have, right? Paper poppets, whatever. And you guys were talking about music, and I just want to say this because it was really good. If you haven't heard Evanescence' new song. It's actually really
mm,
good, and I
Oh,
really
I didn't
liked
know they
it.
put new stuff out.
yeah,
They just released it because their new album is coming out relatively
Sick.
soon, and it's really good. So listen to
me and
that
Rue are
too.
me and Rue are
Also,
gonna see them in June.
if you
A
like Linkin Park, I gotta tell y'all to check out Bring Me the Horizon. They're basically British Linkin Park.
Yes, they're
I like
good.
them a lot. Their album Post-Human, it's not survival horror. They have like two Post-Human albums. This one's Post-Human Next Gen. Listen to that thing like 500 fucking times, and there's maybe like one song I skip on this album. It's so good.
Mm,
Um, but to Scott's point, I think we as a society are at the crone moment. We're tired of
mm,
being fucked around. We're tired of people trying to tell us how we should feel when we fucking know better. We're sick of being gaslit. We're sick of people who are younger than us, who know less than us, telling us how to feel about shit that we've been through for 20 fucking years more than they have. I am in
Mhm.
full crone mode this year. I don't care if you like me or not. I got a dozen friends who I fucking love who would ride or die for me at any moment, and they're who I fucking care about. And
Yep.
if you're the type of person to fuck with me and mine, cool, we're gonna get along great. But at the end of the day, I'm not here for you. I'm not here to be liked by you. I'm here
mm-hmm.
to do a fucking job. I'm here to be a fucking witch. I'm not your pretty Instagram bitch. Okay? I may look like a Barbie doll sometimes, but it is not my job to be a fucking perfect role model for you. It is my job to be a human. It is my job to do what I need to do to survive. It is my job to do the shit that none of you see that we know needs to be done as witches, okay? So before y'all fucking start grandstanding and start coming up with like these past reasons as to why we should or shouldn't, how about you? How about people take some fucking personal responsibility and do shit themselves instead of trying to tell other people how they should fucking be? Because as a society, I'm so fucking sick of people who have no investment in something personally telling others how to fucking do it. Okay?
Oh
I
yeah.
don't care who the fuck you are. You
Mhm.
don't tell me how to do my craft. You can go fuck yourself, right? Period. End. Not that that actually happened, but it's a snowball of issues I'm getting frustrated with, right? Because so much of witchcraft in like the modern sense of online terminally shit is getting grotesque. And the more that I like re-engage with like traditional heathen communities, I'm like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. People are a lot more chill. People are more like
Yeah.
as you are, like
It's so funny you
not to
mentioned that,
get
yeah.
into it, but like reading that Pennsylvania Dutch book, I'm like, yeah, I can see where all these systems come from. I can see how they have like this fully intermeshed system. I can see how they're community building. And like that shit's so much more fucking different than like, I don't know, Sarah, whoever the fuck on Instagram with her like perfect candles and her perfect fucking crystals and her like singing bowls. Like,
And her
who
perfect
cares if your
manicure
magic is
too, all
like,
at the same
Yeah.
I
time, right?
don't, yeah, yeah, with like her
Her
fucking
obviously
lunar
very
symbols on
expensive
her.
house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Or
too.
like witchcraft gear that they didn't even own. They like rented or like borrowed somebody else's fucking space, like those influencers who rent a fucking Ferrari in a mansion for a photo shoot so that
Oh,
Oh
they can like make
God,
that
I
post
would
about,
hate to
oh,
think
look at
about
how much I made, and then they make 50 grand off that fucking post where they spent 10 grand in just renting shit. It's stupid.
that's ridiculous. Oh wow.
Do
I
not
didn't
let
even
your
think about
witchcraft,
that.
yeah, do not let your witchcraft be influenced or infiltrated by social media. Make it be as pretty or ugly or as burnt in the fucking fires as your magic needs to be because it's about you. Okay. And that's one last thing. We always, as society, lately are told bigger picture, give up stuff for everybody else. We have this like weird dichotomy where we're
Mm,
collectivist when it fucks us over personally, but when it's time for you to take a benefit, right? Then you can't. That's when it has to be collectivist, right? But the
right,
moment
yeah.
like you need something to help you, oh, it's staunch individualism, right? And it's
Right.
this like schizophrenic splitting of support structures in society that's been fucking us, right?
Hmm.
So like, I don't know. I'm just very over the whole doing magic for other people the way that they want to see it at this point. Your magic
that.
should be messy and be exactly whatever the fuck it is. And if somebody else tells you to do it differently, spit in their face.
Fair
Word.
enough. All right, great. So, yeah, I think that kind of wraps up everything we were talking about here today.
Hell
But yeah,
yeah.
go forth, do your magic, get into the flow of your practice, and we will see you all in the next one.
Oh, and free Palestine and end war
Yeah.
everywhere and fuck Donald Trump and the Trump administration.
Also, all eyes on Lebanon right now. They're getting the fucking Gaza treatment, and it's the exact same shit all over again.
Oy.
Bye, everybody. See you in the next
Bye,
one.
Love
everyone. See you
y'all.
in the next
The
one.
system, burn it down.